What up, guys? So today we're doing another Spanish country, and this country is gonna be on el país, Cuba. So the country of Cuba. So before you get into it, make sure to subscribe down below today, because I will be posting Spanish lessons like every single day or whenever I can. So I'd say enough talking, and now let's get into it. Alright, so Cuba is a Spanish-speaking country. Cuba it is a Spanish-speaking country, just like all the other Spanish-speaking countries I've done. And they speak Spanish hella fast, just like Chile, and Costa Rica. Cubans speak Spanish like really, really fast. So now what I'm going to show you is a picture of the Cuban flag, and then after that I'm going to show you of some videos. After that, I'm gonna show you a video that I took explaining the Cuban accent. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Alright, so the first thing that we're gonna be talking about in the Cuban accent, how Cubans speak Spanish and all, is the S's. So now the S's, if it's at the beginning of the word, we're going to say the full S, right? But if it's in the middle of a word or at the end of a word, we're going to cut the S off, like we're not going to say it. So for example, so if alright, so let me just type in something. Alright, so I typed in, "These are good shoes." So now, if you hear it, let me just play it for you.
Estos son buenos zapatos. Estos son buenos zapatos.
Alright, so it said, "Estos son buenos zapatos." So that's how we say it. But in Cuba, they say it like this: "Estos son buenos zapatos. Estos son buenos zapatos." Because you see, there's an S in the middle, because there's an S in the middle, and there's an S at the end of estos, so we cut those out. There's an S at the end of bueno, so we cut that out, and there's an end at the S of zapatos, so we cut that out. So the only S that should be pronounced here is the S in the word son, because it's at the beginning of the word. So any S that's at the beginning of a word, you pronounce it like the regular S. And also zapatos, because the Z sound, you wouldn't say zapatos. No, you would say it like an S. So the only two S's that should be pronounced here is the S in son and the S in zapatos. I mean, no, not the S in zapatos. Like the S sound. Like the Z. The Z makes an S sound, so you pronounce it zapatos instead of zapatos. So the full word is "Estos son buenos zapatos." So yeah, so that's the S in the Cuban accent. So now next up we're gonna do the R's next. Alright, so now time for the R's. Now the R's in our Spanish, we just roll them. We just roll them like a regular R. So but in Cuban Spanish, this just depends, if you're what side, if you're on the east side or whatever. If you're on the east side, the R's disappear, or sometimes the R's turn to L's, and the L's are still L's, you know? So for example, so let me just type something. Alright, so are we leaving through this door? So now this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like.
¿Nos vamos por esta puerta? ¿Nos vamos por esta puerta?
Alright, so that's how we say it. So nos vamos por esta puerta. But this is how Cubans say it, you know, in the Cuban accent, this is how they say it. No vamos por esta. No vamos por esta puerta. Alright, so I'm gonna repeat that again. No vamos por esta puerta. So you see, like, the S's and the R's disappear in the word. We don't say puerta. They don't say puerta. They say puerta. Not puerta. Puerta. In the word por, they don't say por. They say po. Not por. Po. So no vamos por esta puerta. So yeah, so those are the R's. So now let's get into the G's. Alright, so the G's are kind of weird in the Cuban accent because any word that has a C in it gets replaced by a G. So let me just give you an example. Alright, so the word magnificent. So this is how it sounds like in feminine and masculine ways.
Magnífico. Magnífico. Magnífica. Magnífica.
Alright, and in the Cuban accent, they say it like this. Magnifico. Magnifico. So you see, like, the C gets replaced by a G. So it's not saying. So they're not saying magnifico. They're saying magnifico. Magnifico. Magnifica. Magnifica. Magnifico. So you see, the G replaces that C right there. Alright, so next up, what we're going to talk about is the D's. So let me give you an example of those. So with the D's, alright, so in Cuban Spanish, the D's often disappear. So for example, so let me just type something. Alright, so the word complicated. So this is how it sounds in feminine and masculine ways.
Complicado. Complicado. Complicada. Complicada.
Alright, so in the D in there would just disappear. So like you wouldn't even say it. So how we say it is complicado. Complicado. So you see how I said the D right there? Complicada. Complicada. How they say it is like this. Complicado. Complicado. So you see how my teeth, want to make the D sound, but it just slurs a little bit. It doesn't even make the D sound. Complicado. 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 See? So the D kind of just disappears. So now, let's talk about the letter B and the letter B and the letter V. All right. So the B's and the V's. So those two. So those two, they just disappear, and the W sound takes their place. So for example, let me write something. Alright, so I'm from Havana, Cuba. Or I'm from Havana, Cuba. So let me just play it in the Spanish version so you guys can know what it means in the Spanish way.
Soy de La Habana, Cuba. Soy de La Habana, Cuba.
So instead of saying soy de La Habana, Cuba, you would say this: soy de La Habana, Cuba. Soy de La Habana, Cuba. See how the V and the B gets replaced by like a W sound, and the D it's cut off in the word they. So don't even say the D sound in the word they. So soy la Havana, Cuba. Soy la Havana, Cuba. So yeah, so those are the B's and the V's. So now let's get into the final letter, which is the T. All right, so now let's get into the T's. All right, so the T is gonna be pronounced like kind of like harshly, like not kind of like a soft T that we pronounce. So in Cuban Spanish, it's gonna be pronounced more harshly. So here, let me give you an example. So for example, hi, how are you? So this is how we say it. So let me just play it for you.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Alright, so that's how we say it. But how they say it is this. So they say, hola, ¿cómo está? Hola, ¿cómo está? See how the T is like it. See how the T is like it is like more harsh. Hola, ¿cómo está? We say, so we say, kind of softly, kind of like this. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿cómo estás? See how the T is, kind of soft, but how they say it is like this. Hola, ¿cómo está? Hola, ¿cómo está? So yeah, so that's pretty much all the letters for the Cuban accent, pretty much. So yeah. Alright, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, so that's gonna be the end of the video, and so that's gonna be the video on El País, Cuba. So yeah, so my next country is gonna be on Ecuador or Ecuador. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego.